Don't study for your exam. I'm gonna fail tomorrow's exam. There was a one-to-one copy.
Have multiple things. That's what makes us interesting as a person.
So I didn't wake up early again. Yeah, life is just great. Well, we're here. I'm gonna do some flashcards in the car and go through some of the sums that I struggle with, and yeah, hope everything goes well. So surprisingly, the exam went incredibly well. Half of the paper was literally what they gave in the revision worksheet. There was a one-to-one copy of what they gave in the revision worksheets for a graph question. It's insane, and I did, I think, fairly well. I might get like 90. So I just had an English class, and I just got the notice that like we're not gonna have any more physical classes, so I gotta do a full exam and then send it to her, and she's gonna check it back and then send it to me back, and then just fuck. And tomorrow I have my Bangla exam, but I'm also gonna go study pure maths, and I wonder why I failed. I did not study any Bangla today. I'm gonna fail tomorrow's exam. Inshallah, I will not, and I will get full marks. I will get an A star. So the whole exam was pathetic. Why? Because the translation and also the comprehension bits of the exam was completely from the practice test that I gave 3 days ago. And I think I still fucked it up because I didn't give the practice test well.
2 chapters left for business studies, which I've never reviewed before. I'm near the end of the 2nd chapter. I still have around 90 minutes left till I get out, so that's gonna be good. With the rest of the time, I'm not gonna like just fuck around. I'm gonna do the rest of the Anki decks that I have, because I have a literal deck for every single subject we have. But honestly, if you want to cram and you only have like a week or even like 3 days, I don't recommend using Anki. I recommend using a method called LMC, which is Lazy Man Flashcards. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of this. If enough people ask, I might make a full video on it, even though I don't really make tutorials. The basic rundown is you make a Notion dashboard like the one on the screen right now with this format, and inside each one of the decks or pages, you write questions like this. Now, the questions don't have any answers to them because you will highlight the answers inside your book or your notes. This allows you to really remember the information, because instead of you just automatically having the answer once you get it wrong, you're more prone to just try to think of it rather than keep going. I do this sometimes in Anki as well. Every single time that I have questions that don't have answers and the answers in the book, and oftentimes when I can't remember something, but I realize I have to like get up to go get the book to see the answers, my brain just thinks harder because I'm lazy. Eventually I remember the actual answer. I don't know the whole science behind this, but for me it works incredibly well. And the reason for me why it works so well is it's kind of like a video game, because after each session, you will grade each one of your questions. Red is 0 marks, yellow is 0.5 marks, green is 1 mark. You get the total and then you divide it by the total number of questions, and that's your percentage. But overall, if you have less time and you just have that dashboard open and you can see your progress bar, it sort of motivates you to get it to 100. I remember doing this while cramming for, I think, Exam Diaries 1. And honestly, it was an incredible method, and I was able to get an A in everything after studying for only like a week and basically not studying for the entire year. Now, if you're wondering why I don't use this method right now, if you want long-term sort of memory recall and you want to keep information in your head for a longer period of time, Anki is better because spaced repetition algorithm is built into Anki. I know I just nerded out for a decent bit, but this is like straight up value. This is straight up how you use like systems that I have made or it's already made for me, and I'm just letting you know. I feel like these videos need to be somewhat educational as well, and other than just documenting my experiences, because so you guys can apply some of the techniques that I've used in my time. And the thing is, every single exam diaries, it's different. Sometimes I cram, sometimes I don't cram, sometimes I give you guys new methods. There's always new methods whenever I have exams, because there's always some sort of new problem that I need to deal with. Overall, in the span of 6 months, I get at least 1 or 2 new study methods. I think I've said this before, is don't rely on YouTubers to tell you what the best study methods are. Even if they think something is the best and it will work for everyone, it's not gonna. Because we all learn differently, we all have different types of fucking memories. And yes, there's some general methods that works for everyone, because that's just how our brains are built. But there's also gonna be a huge fucking amount of study methods that don't work for everyone. And it works for like specific brain types, test out study methods, find your whole study pattern, and eventually you will build up a system sort of like mine where I know how my brain works. I know what kind of situation requires what kind of study methods, which is why I'm able to study fairly less throughout the year. I only study particularly sort of hard during exam seasons to get like still one of the highest in my class. Another little thing about being the best at something. I say this with the most respectful way possible. Most people shouldn't try to be the best at one thing. I don't mean this in the disrespectful way that some people might take it as, but you truly don't want to be the best at just one thing. Reason because being the best at one thing makes you very one-dimensional and deprives you of important things. The difference between the best and good is very small. It's very tiny. Let's take it as this is the line at which the 85% students are, and this is the line where, like, let's say the 100%. This little space is not too much, but the amount of effort you need to do to get across that line is fucking insane. Which is why I have huge respect for anyone who keeps getting top grades in subjects, but I also feel kind of sad for them because they probably have to study a decent bit. The reason because the people who get 85% to 90, those people either study too much if they don't know how to study, or they study fairly less and enjoy life. I'm part of the second group, if you can't tell. I don't like fucking studying. If you asked me fucking a year ago, I would say I love studying. Studying is my hobby. I would do anything to study.
Why are you
But an year older and more time of self-reflection and whatnot has led me to believe that studying more isn't good. You should study the least you can while getting the highest grade possible. I became the guy who went from bragging about how much he studies to the guy who brags about, I barely fucking studied and I'm still gonna destroy you at whatever fucking subject it is. Simply said, being the best and being good has a very thin line between them, but the amount of work you need to do to go from good to best is huge. So don't be one-dimensional and do more things. Don't just play basketball. Don't just study. Don't just make YouTube videos. Have multiple things. That's what makes us interesting as a person. Picture this, you only study 2 hours a day and you consistently get over 90% for all of your exams. Over the past 3 years, I've been spending a large portion of my time to study how to study, and I'm glad to say I've came up with a framework that does just that. But if you want access to the framework as well one-to-one coaching with me, go click on the first link down in the description. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't like the service. And with all that said, please enjoy the vlog. So tomorrow there is an English exam and an assignment is due, which is a full mock. To give the mock, I need 3 hours, and the whole syllabus is breaking down into section A, B, C. Now section A and B take the most time, but right now I have an hour, so I'm gonna do section C. So the basic plan is to do section C right now, finish it, and then tomorrow morning I can do section A and B. And then I'll give it to her by like around 10. But anyways, I finished the assignment. It only took me 24 minutes. I meant to get like an hour for that, but truthfully speaking, it's almost impossible to finish section A with 1 hour. So, another day. And I realize I look like I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday. Look, I have a bunch of black t-shirts and I have a bunch of white t-shirts, so
We do not care.
I'm about to do an English paper for about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Hopefully I can finish it before that, because I don't want to do this for that long. Done with the English assignment. It took me around 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is how much time I had. So right now, what I could do is I could go waste my life on watching some YouTube, procrastinating, blah 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 blah. But I wanted to do an experiment. I'm gonna stare at this wall for 1 hour. And hopefully I'm so bored after this, I get like a productivity boost. So I just did the whole 1 hour sort of staring at the wall thing. And damn, it was eye-opening. Honestly, right now, the only thing I want to do is work. I don't want to stare at a wall. I don't want to do any of that. I want to do something fun. Maybe hang out with friends, but I don't have any friends. Another thing, we're about to hit 200 days. Look at that. Where's my mouse?
Hey,
I
think the exam went well. I mean, I answered everything, but the only problem was that I didn't practice the format writing so much, and I feel like it was kind of clumsy. So overall, it was all right.
Therefore, I do it again. Because I'm a Sigma. I failed Texas.
Moral of the story: don't study for your exams. Because I barely studied for that yesterday, and I think I got above 90% on the damn exam. Famous last words, but also don't study for your fucking exam.
I came back from school and all. Somehow the exam went, I want to say good, but the same thing sort of goes with the Bangla exam as well, is that you could think you did good, but you really don't know until the grades come to you, because it fully depends on the examiner. The basics of what I'm going to do is just like accounting, economics, because those are the only two exams I have left.